Elon Musk is leftist AI. Grok is in the news this week. Julian, I want you to I want to believe you have any idea what you're talking about, but there's a literal Atlantic article this week because Elon Musk's AI tool is behaving like Mustache Man. It is the opposite of leftist AI. Like you could say yeah, I wish you knew what you were talking about, but you sound idiotic. And I mean that in the nicest way I can possibly mean that. Like not to be rude, but you have no idea what you're talking about, and we can't waste any more time on your idiocy at this point.
The Epstein files, I think, kind of answers the question. It's just amazing to me, though, that this is the thing that MAGA decided was like just a bridge too far, right? It's like, wait a minute, now we had a lot of stuff.
And yet it totally makes sense that this is what MAGA world will be melting down over, right? I mean, it's kind of on brand for them to lose their shit over.
You see, like, let's take Julian, because who was it that said that? Was that Julian says he has 0 followers? Julian has 0 people following him, which tracks because Julian has no idea what's going on. But like, just think about it. Like, Julian's a good example of the different like stages of idiocy in MAGA, because there's people in MAGA you can have a really like a pretty good conversation with. Especially, I'll say this, I always talk about this when I debate with Pickles, like the young kids, the gaming, the red pill bros that voted for Trump, their brains still work. Like, you show them information, you start showing them primary resources and stuff, a lot of them will be like, oh, I didn't know that, like I didn't so it's not like everyone is as dumb as Julian, but they are out there. And that's what I say. This is my concern, is like, we're talking about different stages of cognitive dissonance, and there are always going to be those people that literally have 0 idea what's going on and they don't want to know. Like why would you want to publicly embarrass yourself on TikTok like Julian is right now? That's my nightmare. Being publicly humiliated and having no idea what I'm talking about. I have nightmares about it. And Julia's just like, yeah, I love embarrassing myself and having no clue what I'm saying. So yeah, I just think it's actually it's a good learning moment just to understand, like, some of these people, they have no shame, no interest in the truth. They're just like, hi, I'm an idiot and I'm here to be an idiot. But like, now here's someone, Alex Jones. Let's take InfoWar Alex Jones, who I'm sure Julian loves. And Alex Jones is like, watch Alex Jones in real time is like, oh my God, I've been supporting a 3PDO. Like, Alex Jones is having like meltdowns in real time.
A lot, actually, and this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now because I have integrity.
Donald Trump just said that his own MAGA supporters are weaklings who believe in bullshit and that he doesn't want your support anymore.
Did you hear that, Julian, or do you not know that he called you all dumb? Like, it's mine. If you're here to defend Trump today, oh, that's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Because I have integrity.
Donald Trump just said that his own MAGA supporters are weaklings who believe in bullshit and that he doesn't want your support anymore. He says scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. So now it's a motherfucking hoax. And my past supporters have bought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and possibly never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. The tantrum continues. I've had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. And all these people want to talk about is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings, yes, MAGA, he's talking to you, continue forward and do the Democrats' work, because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for the attention to this matter. Make America great again. MAGA's not taking it well. Listen to what MAGA's saying. I've been a loyal Trump supporter since 2016. I lost a job, friendships been smeared online, doxxed, and pressed charges on people who stalked and harassed me for supporting him. If Trump doesn't want my support because I care about the Epstein files, then I'm done. Bye. Or this other poster that said, I accept your terms, Mr. President. You don't want my support? It won't be given. I'm out. And others, some of the biggest MAGA conspiracy theorists, QAnon people, Alex Jones is about to throw up, literally, because he's figuring out in real time that the person who he supported.
I want him to say the word because I'm going to get banned. Every time I love Brian Babs' videos, but he always gets me in trouble online. This was another good word. So this is another good thing that's going on next. People keep posting these describe Trump in one word, right? Things, and people are like crashing, levied, compromised, 3PDO, protecting. Oh my God, I can't read that. Criminal, joker, grifter, crook, destroyed, unaliver. I can't read a lot of these, so despicable, clueless. Like, this is, if you think people like in MAGA aren't mad at Trump, I don't think you understand what's happening, and you should learn to read before you come in here and tell us we're weird. Okay, and this is what I keep trying to say. I remember one time I was saying like, hey, I'm a historical researcher. I keep an eye on things. That's why I hang out on X, like, is to know what's going on with the far right. This is Nick Fuentes. He's the far right. And I remember like probably a couple months ago, I said in one of my lives, like, or maybe it was when I was debating, I can't remember, but I was like, oh, Nick Fuentes is like a different person now. And I remember like so many people were like, oh, you support mustache man? Like, people are idiots. No, I'm just saying I've watched Nick Fuentes completely do a 180 on everything he used to say. You remember, this is the kid that was at Mar-a-Lago having dinner with Trump. This is Nick Fuentes yesterday.
I don't want their support anymore. Well, fine. You don't get it anymore. Nobody should vote for Trump. Nobody should vote for Republicans. And what needs to happen next, by the way, the Republicans must be hanged in the midterms. That's what must come of this. Trump must fucking pay for this statement to say, I don't want your support anymore. Every single Trump supporter, every single Republican needs to say, okay, bet. You don't want our support? Forget about the midterms. Forget it. The 2026 midterms, it just needs to be a Democrat avalanche at this point. And that's not because I'm a Democrat. I'm not. I don't like the Democrats. I hate the Republicans more because the Republicans are traitors. Because I have voted for Republicans. I have supported Republicans, and they shit on our face.
Again, and people are like, what is happening? This is what I was trying to tell people 2 months ago. This didn't just happen overnight. This has been happening for like 6 months.
The paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Like, this has been happening for a long time, and then Trump's post was like the last straw, where they're like, I don't suggest anyone hang out on X. It is not a healthy place. But I think if you're thinking, like, I think a lot of people that support Trump are just showing up to the internet and being like, nothing's changed. I think you have no idea what's going on if you're under that impression. Yeah, there's a mutiny going on, and should probably read something and figure out what's happening. That would be probably a great idea at this point for you. Oh, I'm going to get a copyright violation for this, but I'm still going to play it because it's funny.
MAGA diehards, you've heard your dear leader. Epstein's just a boring dead guy who no one cares about. I'm sure you'll join him in saying it's time to move on. Nothing more to see here.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide it.
I think that the American people need to see what's in there. And that's not hard to understand.
I do think there needs to be more transparency. You don't believe what the Justice Department is saying? I don't know. I don't. I don't trust them.
Oh man, that guy is flat out broken. I don't trust nothing no more. I'd go just fill my pocket with rocks and walk into the sea. Tell Manu Raju I love him. I mean, things are so bad, even Lauren Boebert is demanding answers. Although being Lauren Boebert, she has a particular way of putting it.
Of course, we want answers. No one is satisfied with what has been received or lack thereof. No one is satisfied with the rollout of this.
Yes, Mr. President. If Lauren Boebert was in charge, you better believe she would leave people satisfied. She would not be jerking everyone around and then leaving them frustrated like you. No, sir, with her, there would be a complete finish. This is a shocking turn of events for Donald Trump. His own sycophants are breaking ranks with him, and even worse, they are demanding accountability.
I think moving forward, we need a special counsel. That has got to happen. I want answers, and maybe that takes that special counsel to do so. Maybe Matt Gaetz can lead the special counsel.
I not talk about this on Monday, how they're saying, like, before Charlie Kirk bent over for Trump and pretended he didn't think this stunk, that they sat there at that Turning Point USA conference, Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly, saying we need to get rid of Pam Bondi, even though that's idiotic. Pam Bondi's just doing what Trump wants. And then some guy in the audience is like, let's replace her with Matt Gaetz. It's like, let me get this straight. You guys are mad about a cover-up of a child trafficking case, so you want to replace the AG with someone who has been investigated for child trafficking, and that investigation is public and you could all read it, and he had to leave Congress because of it. Like, MAGA, you guys can't make decisions because you can't read.
You want Matt Gaetz to investigate underage sex trafficking? Because it makes sense in a sort of game-recognized game way. I can see Matt Gaetz pulling up to R. Kelly's house saying, I'm putting together a team. Also, legally, I have to introduce myself. And this special counsel thing might have been the last straw, because by this morning, Trump had absolutely lost it on his supporters.
He posted this morning. He said, my past supporters have bought into this, quote, bullshit, hook, line, and sinker. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore.
God damn, he went full messy bitch. If you can't handle me at my sex crimes cover-up, you don't deserve me at my alligator concentration camps, you sluts.
Jordan Klepper is funny, but it's true. And I just point something out because, Mag, I know a lot of you can't read, but you're interested in the Epstein stuff. Just understand, it's not just that it's a federal investigation that's being covered up. You know that, right? Like, there was Pam Bondi, the current attorney general, who works for Trump, who you guys are all like, let's fire. She was the former Florida attorney general. She investigated Jeffrey Epstein, and on a state level, when Ron DeSantis was trying to like impress MAGA and pull Trump's MAGA base out from under him when he was going to run for president, those files have been released. So the fact that Trump is now sitting here saying it's all a hoax, it's all a lie. Like, imagine how crazy that is. It's not like it was just a federal investigation. There's a state investigation that you can read the court files that are public. So, of course, that's not true. You're saying that's BS? It's not BS. It's true. I don't know what to tell you. That's the truth. And I've read them. Like, I read them on this live when they came out. So, yeah, it's not just like Trump can't just say this is a hoax. There were state investigations of this, right? State investigations where the files are available. Like, that's how crazy this is. And so it'll be interesting to see whoever accepts Trump's lies, that's real cognitive dissonance. I mean, that is a cult. Because like, this is simply disprovable. Did I see Fuentes' turn on Trump over? Yeah, I literally 5 seconds ago just played that clip. So I don't know if you were here or not. Sorry, I was reading a comment. Yeah, we did see that literally 2 minutes ago. I played it out loud and then we all talked about it and then we moved on to the next. I was like, yeah, we did. We just talked about it. But Ron Philip Kasky was like screenshotting different like MAGA influencers' comments. I estimate this is Candace Owens. Trump is about 4 days away from calling his base a bunch of deplorables. Yeah, exactly. Charlie Kirk, look at Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is the guy that spent all weekend saying there was a cover up going on and something needed to be done. And then Trump, threatened him. And now he's like, people are talking about Epstein because they love Trump. What? No, it's because we're trying to protect children. We are fearful the same people who tried to unalive Trump, impeach him, and throw him in prison were behind Epstein. No, we're not. Epstein represents a symbol of an out-of-control shadow government. I just want you to know, this is Charlie Kirk yesterday, after he spent the whole weekend being like, this is a cover-up and we need to fire Pam Bondi. And then Trump was like, you better shut up. And now he's doing this. It's like, this is a good opportunity. If MAGA's brains work, they could see who was betraying them. Charlie Kirk is one of them. Kash Patel has folded like a lawn chair. Like, all of them. Cat Turd will never turn away from Trump. I'm sitting here feeling confident right now because I know Trump always wins in the end. And Alex Jones yesterday, why is Trump destroying MAGA in real time? Yeah, because he already got what he wanted from you guys. It's almost like, and Alex Jones has money. That's why Alex Jones doesn't care he was robbed. Or like, we were all robbed. It's unbelievable. Let me just play. This is right before the presidential election, October 2024. This is Tucker Carlson interviewing Elon Musk. I think this is great to remember how hypocritical all these people are. Now, Trump ran on releasing the Epstein files. He said they were real. He was going to release them. Pam Bondi, literally, since Trump has been in office, says the list is on her desk. This is right before the election.
There are a lot of videos, apparently. Those rooms on the island and I think out in New Mexico were wired for video.
Right.
And
where's the video? I mean, between Diddy and Epstein, there's probably several thousand hours of footage here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that the people on those videos are lecturing the rest of us about our moral failings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
What is that?
Well, I mean, part of how they deflect attention from themselves is by criticizing the morals of others.
Yes.
So it's sort of like a preemptive moral strike.
Yes.
I mean, as I said, I think those who are saying Trump is a threat to democracy are themselves actually the threat to democracy.
So now imagine this. Elon Musk is now 24 hours a day saying Trump's a threat to democracy and is covering up the Epstein files after saying all this stuff and accusing the left of covering it up. Now remember, because we have a lot of MAGA people in the chat who have no idea what's going on. On Tuesday, every Democrat voted to release the Epstein files and every Republican voted that down. Every Republican in the House voted to cover up the Epstein files. Every Democrat voted to release them. And to the person or whoever has 6 followers, CXJJRPLS, who said, shouldn't I be putting in a septum piercing? I don't even have pierced ears. I have 0 tattoos. I'm a good Hispanic part black girl. My body's a temple. I'm not even allowed to cut my hair. So your weird stereotypes about what I should or shouldn't be, all I know is your brain doesn't work. Like, you're the person who's in here talking like I have a problem. At least I know what's going on. You've been robbed and are talking to me about whether or not I have piercings. I don't have any. I don't even have ear piercings. But thanks for stereotyping me and saying something idiotic and we can all know now that your brain doesn't work. Instead, every single Republican, Trump ran on releasing the Epstein files and is now forcing a cover-up. And you're in here talking to me about if I have piercings. Idiotic. Truly. You are what's wrong with America. Idiotic. You should be ashamed of yourself. Go read a book. Truly. And I mean that. If you can, my advice would be go read a book. Figure out what's happening because you've been robbed. And you're in here asking if I have piercings. Bless your heart. Like, God, what is wrong with men? No, I do not want to make out with you. Oh, wait. Someone said Reading Rainbow. Nope. We've defunded PBS. We've defunded PBS to give billionaires more money. But this guy doesn't know that because he can't read. They cheer on defunding the Department of Education, have zero idea what's going on. The largest transfer of wealth. You've been robbed. Unless you're a billionaire, which I don't know. You have no idea what's going on. So doubt it. I don't know why you'd be in here. But you're in here talking to me and you have no idea what's going on in the world. Please stop wasting all of our time. Some of us are trying to work out what to do so we don't lose democracy in this country.
Is more sophisticated now than computers.
Oh, yes. I wanted to just point this out. So this is a clip that was played yesterday on CNN. Remember, Trump sued, I want to make sure I get this right and say it right. Trump sued CBS/60 Minutes, said that they edited clips of Kamala Harris to look favorable. They didn't. They offered Trump the same amount of airtime. You always have to cut some things because you only have a certain amount of time. Trump wouldn't show up for the interview. So that happened. But that happened. Now let me show you a real edited clip, right? Like, I'm trying to remember what order these go in. Remember, okay, I think this one's the first one. Remember this?
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things that everyone's talking about. I know you talked earlier about it. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. So if you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to this. Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Attorney General, what are you, we talked about.
So I used to work in advertising, so I can see it. What you saw was just a complete part of that cut out, right? Fox, what he sued CBS for, Fox did. Now, here's the real full clip, right, that we now know Trump actually said.
One way to build trust is to declassify things that everyone's talking about. I know you talked earlier about it. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. So if you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to this. Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
Now, I know you guys don't this is, methinks thou doth, he knew he would not. And Fox cut that out. And you guys all heard, yeah, I think I would. But really, he was like, oh, wait, like, some of that might be made up. I don't know. Like, oh, I got to see what's in there. I have no idea. I don't know what to do. And that's the truth. He didn't know what was in there. He got into the White House. Pam Bondi's like, oh, the list is on my desk. Trump looks at it, and all of a sudden, no one can see it, and it's a made-up hoax. And I just want to stress, if you don't understand this, there was a state investigation. There's a Florida investigation. I think there was also one that was opened in New Mexico, but particularly in Florida. And when Ron DeSantis was trying to impress MAGA, he released those files. This is no hoax. The part of MAGA that actually is interested in this and can do research knows that as well. This is no hoax. And now all of a sudden Trump's saying the whole thing is made up.
That paper is more sophisticated.
I wonder why he would do that. after he ran on releasing them. That's a strange thing to do. This is Shane Gillis last night at the ESPYs. You know, former Division I athlete. I do watch the ESPY Awards still. This is Shane Gillis last night. ESPYs are like Oscars for athletes.
You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died. All right. No, you don't have to do that. It was fine. I didn't write it. Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
It was a hoax. It wasn't deleted. It was all a hoax. Like, yeah, it was. This is all a giant hoax. Let's see. And MAGA, the ones of you who just accept that when you know it's not true, don't ever claim you care about children. Well, you don't, for sure. And don't ever claim you care about women. Don't claim you care about trafficking. Never say anything again.
It's interesting to hear the right.
Ian Maxwell, and thank you. So who said that? Hold on. That's a good comment. So I should not just act like I said it. 2TR mom said, so Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for nothing. Exactly. I said this yesterday. You better get to pardoning Ghislaine. So it's all a hoax. Nothing ever happened. And you're saying Jeffrey Epstein unalived himself over a hoax, and you're saying Ghislaine Maxwell is serving 20 years in prison over a hoax. So you should pardon her then, right? Because this is all a hoax. And let me tell you the real question, because this is how logic works, MAGA. Either he was lying then, either he lied to you for years, for 10 years, from 2016 up until he was elected, 9.5 years, he said it was not a hoax. He knows it's not. He's going to release the files. So the only question now is, was he lying to you then, or is he lying to you now? Either way, he's lying. And if you swallow this, if you continue giving the man who's lying to you a Andrew Jackson, I mean, it's a choice. It's a personal choice, and no one will respect it, but that's your choice at this point.
It's interesting to hear the right explain why it is that they want to hear. I want to hear because clearly you got something to hide, Mr. President. So that's why I want to hear. I want the swamp, right, to be drained, okay? Listen, let me use their language. We know that he had this ongoing relationship with Epstein. They were basically like besties. We know that there are allegations that a lot of the recruitment took place down at Mar-a-Lago. We know that there are even young ladies that said that they were sexually abused and or sexually assaulted. We know that this is someone who has been found liable of sexual abuse by a jury.
No lawsuits were paid out
Of his peers. So, I mean, this is also a guy who seemingly doesn't really, necessarily care if somebody engages in these types of activities. So I know he's got something to hide. That's the only reason it's not out there. If this had anything to do with Democrats, baby, it would have been on day one. That promise would have been fulfilled. But he wanted access to those files, and he wanted to see how bad it looked for him. And unfortunately, after having a glimpse, I think he's decided that he just wants to move on and talk about something else. It's interesting.
I'm in trouble again. What did I do again? Every time we talk about this, I just I'm in trouble again. Can we all tap the screen? Let's all tap the screen. By the way, if you would like to support my lives and all the hours of research I do to put these together, this is my Cash App and Venmo, or this is my sub goal. If you'd like to subscribe, that yellow star in the bottom left-hand corner is how you subscribe. Help me by tapping the screen and sharing the live, that arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. You can share the live. If you don't have anyone to share with, push the copy link button. That counts as a share, because I already had to restart the live once. I don't think TikTok appreciates this conversation topic. We learned that yesterday as well. But I mean, all I'm doing is talking about what's in the news. Someone in the comments, and I'm sorry I didn't see who wrote this, was pointing out like Trump met, I played a clip of this as well. Thank you so much for the gift. I love that. Was so cool. Yeah, I was playing a clip. It's rumor Trump met Melania through Epstein.
That paper is more sophisticated.
I could go into more detail about that, and I did yesterday. I played a clip about it, but I got in trouble. Yeah, like this goes deep. And thank you for subscribing, Kayla. And I think I'm going to show, I don't want to get into this, but what is alleging to be happen, right? Because I'm a researcher and I've gotten into this a lot. And the reason Trump is now saying this is all a hoax, is it is rumored that a major journalism outlet has, because if you understand how journalism and research works, when you're about to put out a huge story, you contact that person beforehand and you say, hey, here's a story we're about to publish. Here, it's all corroborated. We have sources. Here's the list of let's say allegations in the story. Would you like to comment on any of this? Or do you dispute any of this? Do you have anything you want to say? And it's very much rumored. Oh my God, Wayne, thank you so much. That's so cool. My favorite New Zealand, my favorite Kiwi. It's rumored that there's some outlet that's about to put out a story about Epstein and Trump, and that's why he is behaving like this. And let me just show you, MAGA was talking about this today. I think I have so many clips to show, but I think these people are actually quite clueless. Oh, sorry, I missed all the subscriptions. Who bought these subscriptions? Joby bought 20 subs. Thank you so much, Joby1. You're so amazing. Joby1 Kenobi in the chat. Especially if you got a sub from him, make sure you thank him. Thank you. We hit our sub goal. That is amazing. I was like, what is everything just turns yellow. I wish you guys knew what I was talking about. But I was like, what just happened? Thank you so much, Joby. You're so amazing. I appreciate you so much. Let me change this goal before I forget. And if you're not following me, please do follow me. Come back. I do the People's Receipts 3 to 4 days a week, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. Okay, 375. Got it. I'll be doing it again tomorrow because we have a lot going on this week. I want to find this clip. I should play the clip about they called Jeffrey Epstein's playing the Lolita Express. And it's basically rumored that Trump met Melania through Jeffrey Epstein. And let's say it's not rumored. There are people that can corroborate it that they had, I don't know, possibly, allegedly, I wasn't there, had relations on Epstein's plane. But these are people talking about this morning who are from MAGA and talking about the rumors about the article that's going to come out. And this was super early. I get up at 3:30 a.m. because I'm on Pacific time right now because Arizona doesn't have daylight savings. And the first thing journalists are talking about on East Coast time, they're like, oh yeah, have you guys heard about this story that's coming out? And these are three people basically discussing allegedly there's about to be a story, and that's why Trump is freaking out. Because if there's one thing, actually, before I play this clip, I just want to play a reminder of something, not something that's going to get me in trouble from yesterday, because God knows I got in so much trouble over the things I was trying to play yesterday. But I just want to remind everyone, because I think it's a good reminder from yesterday of, wrong album, of what Jim Acosta was saying, because I think that is the most logical thing, right? What did Trump know and when did he know it? And also, Jim Acosta just saying, hey, I've been around this guy. I've never seen him. Thank you for resubscribing, Rainey. I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. It's good to see you, Rainey. Also, him saying, I've never seen Trump act this skittish, act this scared. And I agree. I've never missed a Trump rally. All I do is listen to Trump talk. I've never seen him behave like this. So I think, and then after I show you this short clip, I'll play the clip. And I think this is why. I think that's why he's freaking out and being like, it's all fake. It's because there's some for-profit media publication that has backed verified sources, and they're like, we're going to put this article out, and Trump's freaking out.
Rarely has a Truth Social post lied so hard. I mean, that's my first reaction to that Truth Social post he put out last night. I mean, for years they were saying they were leading Democrats in the Epstein files. Now Donald Trump is saying on Truth Social that leading Democrats wrote the Epstein files and that they're a fake. And so, he's twisted himself into a pretzel on this. And it takes me back to that cabinet meeting that he had last Tuesday where, somebody asked the question of Pam Bondi about the Epstein files and he flipped out. And Ali, I've been around Donald Trump. I've been up close with him. I think I know when he's worried, and he is freaking out right now over these Epstein files. And it just raises the question, what is going on here? What is going on with Donald Trump and these Epstein files? We just don't know. And that's why Steve Bannon and so many others over the last several days have been saying, go ahead and release the Epstein files. Donald Trump, he's all for releasing the JFK files, the MLK files, all of these other files, but not the Epstein files. And it begs the question, what gives? And Ali, the question that I had earlier this week when the Justice Department put out that memo that tried to sweep the whole thing under the rug is, did some kind of directive come out of the White House, come from Susie Wiles, Stephen Miller, or Donald Trump himself to put out that memo? And if that's the case, that ties this whole matter back to the White House. And so that's why I think the age-old Watergate question is operative here. What did the president know? Right. When did he know it?
That is always going to be the question in my mind for all time until we see unredacted, unedited versions of these files, because nothing else makes sense. You told us they existed. Pam Bondi said the list is on my desk. We know there was a state investigation. Ron DeSantis released files from it. Like, it's not like it's just a federal investigation. We know this is real, right? Other jurisdictions, other countries have investigated this. Prince Andrew was investigated. Like, this is not you can't say this didn't happen. We know that it happened. So the question is only now, why the cover up? Like, what are you hiding? You ran on this. And that's the thing. That's why you under promise, over deliver. Like, you don't, Trump over promised so much and now is flipping out. Okay. So again, the clip I'm going to show you now is like super early this morning, like right leaning journalists are having this conversation saying, have you guys heard about the article that's going to come out? It's Mark Halperin basically being like, have you guys heard about this article that's going to come out about Jeffrey Epstein and Trump?
One of the points of this platform in the age of transparency is to narrow the gap between elites like Dan and Sean and the people like the two-way community and myself. So let me share something with you that everyone, I say that in air quotes, everyone I know knows, hasn't been publicly reported. Everyone I know believes a major newspaper, one of the top 3 newspapers in the country, is about to publish a piece about President Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? Everyone I know knows that. And people in the White House know that too. When that story drops, if it drops today, and some people think it might, it could drive the day. Sean, Dan, have you heard about this story?
Well, I know because it's been circulating on the left, and I've had to double check that this is not, in fact, total conspiracy theories. Donald Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein pretty well. And I believe that his early courting of Melania involved Jeffrey Epstein.
And this has been documented by many people. So like, they're kind of talking about it on this clip. Like, they're not sure. I think that was common knowledge. Like, I've heard many different sources, like I thought everybody accepted that as reality. Like, I don't think that's like, that's not illegal. It's not illegal, like, to meet. Melania was an adult when they met. I mean, I guess is my point. Like, just to be clear, just because you met, that's not wrong, is all I'm saying. Like, and I've heard that many people talk about that. Like, so I don't know why they're like, it sounds like they're almost scared to say it. I don't know if they're scared of Trump, but I'm like, I thought that was just something. It's not like she was a child.
And that has been reported by mainstream outlets over the last 10 years. Alleged, I guess. I want to be.
Thank you. Because I was like, I've seen it. Like, I thought everybody knew that. Like, I guess if we should say alleged, if he's saying it, I'm saying it. Because these people seem really scared. It's been reported, it's been printed by many outlets that Trump met Melania, which is not a crime. She was an adult, through Jeffrey Epstein. They flew on the quote unquote Jeffrey's plane known as the Lolita Express and possibly had sex on it. Like, that is what has been implied or reported or inferred, like, in, like, you know, from real reputable publications all the way to, like, you know, like what is that thing Rupert Murdoch owns? What am I talking about? Not what is the thing Rupert Murdoch owns that he says it's like what everyone should read at their kitchen? It's like kitchen table gossip, the Post or the New York Post. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Careful.
You've already been, I say with respect, somewhat careless, but keep going.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, if that is where this report is going, it's just collecting and putting together and synthesizing old news.
No, this story has new news. Sean, what do you know about this story?
And Michael Wolff. If you're looking for a source of someone who told that story I just alleged, and I don't know, I'm just showing receipts. I'm not reporting anything, and I don't know anything. But Michael Wolff, look up Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff is someone who intimately interviewed all these people, like Epstein, Trump, Michael Wolff is one of the people that says that. I've been back this whole week, but sorry, Berlio boy. I had to take 2 to 3 weeks off. I had a lot going on with my dad for a while, but I'm okay. I've been back the whole week. I'll be back tomorrow, so hopefully you'll be here. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. But that's Michael Wolff. If you want to know someone who implies that story I just alleged and have no actual knowledge of, it's Michael Wolff is one of them.
Vague, I probably know about Dan level, right. But I don't.
Let me throw out some questions. Let me throw out some questions, and I'd like you to jump in. Let's do it game show style. Either answer them or say, "In fact, we don't know." Ready? How did Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein meet?
I don't know.
Don't know. Did Donald Trump ever go to Jeffrey Epstein's townhouse?
Yes.
How many times? How many times?
I believe many.
You believe many. What occasions?
Guy in the middle basically says nothing. Like, this guy's just like, watch the guy. Right. He's just like, I've got nothing to lose.
One-on-one parties. What did he go for?
Don't know.
I feel like a Biden staffer right now taking the fifth. Yeah.
How often did Jeffrey Epstein go to Mar-a-Lago? Don't know.
Fairly often, because they banned him at the end.
Well, you don't know how often he went. How often did Donald Trump go to Jeffrey Epstein's Palm Beach residence? Don't know.
I don't know how.
Where?
Well, Sean Spicer, he looks better than before. Getting away from Trump has done him well, doesn't he? He looks a lot healthier than when he looked like he was so stressed he was going to die for a while there.
Where else besides the townhouse and the 2 Palm Beach properties did they ever spend time together?
On his airplane.
No. Well,
did Trump never fly on it?
I don't believe Trump ever flew on Epstein's plane, so far as I know. I believe
that he did.
I believe Epstein may have been on Trump's plane.
Okay.
Although I don't think Trump was there when Epstein was there. Did they have any financial dealings?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. There are many unanswered questions, amazingly never been written about. Now, the thing people point to a lot is Donald Trump's interview with New York Magazine, a profile of Epstein where he spoke very glowingly about Jeffrey Epstein. But we all know President Trump might speak glowingly about someone who's being profiled in New York Magazine, even if they didn't have that great a relationship, because he'd want to be in the piece. In the search for explanations about the president attacking his base in a way he's never done, some people are pointed to his awareness of this story that's supposedly coming soon. That's what I'll tell here, the two-way community, because everyone I know knows the things that I just said, but I've not seen them public, and so I thought it was.
Well, stop at Mark Halperin. You didn't say anything. As a matter of fact, you said less than we all know for sure. We know more than that from court documents. Stop acting like you did anything. Like, there's more than that in the Florida court documents about Trump of the investigation than you just said. You didn't say anything. He's trying to act. But I mean, I think what Mark Halperin's trying to do without making Trump hate his guts is saying the reason Trump's freaking out here is because he's been what happened happens in journalism is when, that you're about to publish a story, you contact who it's about and you say, hey, we have corroborated sources. Like our legal is backing this up and we're going to publish. Do you have anything to say? And that's what he's saying is about to happen or not happen. Because I imagine behind the scenes right now, Trump is doing anything he can to make that story go away. Like that's what my guess is. But I thought that was really interesting because, that would explain a lot. Because if there's one thing I heard I agree with, I've never seen Trump for Trump, he's behaving strangely. Like his paranoia, his panic, it's uncomfortable at this point. Thank you, Elizabeth, for resubscribing. I hope I didn't miss anyone who subscribed. Wait, let me just check this. Yeah, I got Rainy. Okay, cool. Just trying to make sure. Thank you guys so much. Keep tapping the screen. We are almost to 400. Okay, now I definitely miss them. Ray, thank you for the giveaway subs. 10 giveaway subs. W Ray 30831 in the chat. Especially if W Ray 30831. Especially if you received a sub. Thank Ray. And wait, did I miss?
More sophisticated now than computers.
Okay, these are just the sworders. Sorry, I'm like, all of a sudden it just all turns yellow. I'm just trying to make sure I thank everyone because it's important. And if you didn't also see, and so think about this, now that I showed you that clip where Mark Halper and Sean Spicer is sitting there like, I refuse to say anything. I don't know who that guy is for, but he's like, yeah, we all know this, which that would have been me. I'd be like, yeah, everyone knows this. Oh, and Monica, thank you for the $20 on Cash App so much. This is what I do for a living. I appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you for my monthly donation. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for being here. You're the best. So think about it now that you heard them saying, hey, that's what's going on. That's why Trump's freaking out. There's this story that's about to be published and he's freaking out and he's upset about it. I think that explains a lot. And also, I'm just connecting. I'm just talking out loud here about things that have happened. Who was fired yesterday? Comey's daughter, right? Comey's daughter is not a U.S. attorney. She's just a line prosecutor, apparently a very good one who's worked on some very high-profile cases. But he fired Comey's daughter yesterday, right? Why would he do that? In my opinion, I don't know, just to be like, his whole thing is that what is Trump's, he's not, no one will ever accuse Trump of being smart, but because none of it makes any sense, but he's saying, remember, he's saying Comey, Hillary Clinton, and Obama wrote the Epstein files. Well, that wasn't your story for the last 9 years, but now apparently that's your news story. Then all of a sudden, yesterday afternoon, you disappear Comey's daughter, who worked on the Epstein and the Diddy cases. No, I don't think it's paranoia. I think he wants to imply to MAGA, like, oh, she was up to something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that at all. I just think he's just being like, he's throwing names out. He's trying to cast suspicion and make things look weird. That's what I think is going on. I don't think he has this is not a good plan. Like, you don't need to even use deductive reasoning to know Trump's lying. Like, he told the exact opposite story of his story now for 9.5 years. You don't have to. And again, I just want to stress, it's not like Trump is holding all the cards and hiding this investigation. There was a state investigation that the files are available. There's no doubt that all this is real. So Trump thinking I can just say it's a hoax and everyone will go along with it. I don't know. I guess that's what I'm saying. If his base, the people that go along with this, then you're just saying like, yeah, I was never in it for the truth. It was never about draining the swamp. It was never about this belief that Trump was going to expose, the people who were up to something. Like, yeah, you're just saying, yeah, I'm just on my knees for this guy. Like, there's no other, this is the most blatant lying cover up that makes no sense I've ever seen Trump engage in my life. Like, there's no other explanation. Listen, I have a good clip to illustrate this. This is Trump yesterday afternoon, like right before Maureen, what her name's Maureen, right? I believe Comey, James Comey's daughter was fired, the line prosecutor for the, like, this is Trump on, oh my God, Real America's, like a show on Real America's Voice. Sounds like like your crazed grandpa who's like spewing conspiracy theories like in the memory care facility. And you're like, okay, grandpa, eat your Jello.
What do you think? What are the things that are most important that you would like to see the FBI get to the bottom of?
I think they could look at all of it. It's all the same scam. They could look at this Jeffrey Epstein hoax also, because that's the same stuff. That's all put out by Democrats.
Yeah.
And, some of the naive Republicans fall right into line like they always do. They just don't.
Pash Patel, like, you guys have to understand this. And it's such an interest. Like, the last time I've seen Trump do something like this was J6, when it was like we all watched something with our eyes and Trump denied reality. And not reality that was like 10 years ago, reality that was like 10 minutes ago. It's like Kash Patel spent the entire time since you left the White House. Dan Bongino spent the entire time since you left the White House. Steve Bannon spent the entire time since you left the White House on live streams 5 hours a day saying that, investigating the Epstein stuff, saying that Democrats were covering up. Now he's saying that they wrote the files. Like, you have to understand how crazy this is, how ludicrous. Like, you were elected to release these files. It doesn't matter. Okay, so James Comey wrote them, then release them. Like, none of it matters. Like, nothing he says matters. We'll determine what's real and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have never seen Trump fail. Yeah, someone said he's failing so hard. I've never seen him fail. Even for Trump, I've never seen him. Like, that's how terrified he must be of whatever he knows is in there. Because, okay, cool. So you think someone made something up, you think someone did, whatever, just release the files. Cool. That's what anyone would say who has nothing to do with it. Like, cool. That has nothing to do with me. I'll just release them anyways.
They don't have the sustainability. They don't have the something. They don't have that stick to it like glue. The Democrats, they have bad policy. They have bad candidates. They have bad everything. But they stick together. The Republicans don't do that. But they ought to look into the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, too, because that's another hoax.
That is, the opposite is true. If there was anything I will say that I admire, or, I mean, not admire, because I don't want to be in a cult, but Republicans remain in lockstep up until this Trump lie. You guys always vote together. You're in cognitive dissonance. You're in lockstep. You hit the same talking points. Like, the Democratic Party, hey, I'm over here, but it is like herding cats. And we do not agree on anything ever for any reason. That's why we lose all the time. Because we don't agree on anything. So for him to now be like, oh, look at the Democrats. They're in a cult and agreeing on anything. Like, watching Trump deny not reality from like 5 years ago, but like current reality is fascinating. Like, where someone needs to do like a psych study on this guy.
That's frankly put out by the pushing the Republicans and put out by the Democrats.
No, they definitely set the Republicans up. One big prosecutor look at it all. Would that make you feel good, you think?
Well, I think it's in the case of Epstein, they've already looked at it, and they are looking at it, and I think all they have to do is put out anything credible. But, that was run by the Biden administration for 4 years. I can imagine what they put into files, just like they did with the others. I mean, the Steele dossier was a total fake.
Right.
They took 2 years to figure that out for the people. And
can I just say, I've read the Steele dossier, or the parts of it you can read. No, some of it is true and some of it is not, right? Like, it's even that scares me. Like, Trump, do you even know, like, if you're going to lie, like, at least lie, like, in a way people can believe you. That's what's scaring me about him now. I don't even, because let me say, like, the thing that's good for narcissists is, they don't have effective empathy and they're rarely feeling like anxiety and fear, right? Because they just don't care. So they're usually like pretty proficient liars. I was raised by one, so I've had a lot of time to observe them. But it's like, what is he talking about? No, everyone knows some things in the. Like when you do Oppo research, that's what the Steele dossier was. It's Oppo research. You're just it's like you're saying, hey, if this person ran for office, whether it's true or not, what am I up against, right? Like, what is anything that could be thrown out there, whether it's a lie or whether it's real, so I can plan, so I can counter this information, right? Like, I need to have a plan of attack if anything is put out there. It's not even about if it's true or not. And some of the stuff in the Steele dossier is for sure true. And I'm sure I actually do agree with the thing, like, Don Jr., like the way they invalidated the Steele dossier is they're just like, Trump would never let anyone pee on him. I actually kind of agree with that. Like, it doesn't seem like the type, but that doesn't mean there's not that just means that was some information that Russia had put out about him, right? It's not about if it's true or not. No one said there was a video. So it's like, I've never seen the desperation of Trump. It's almost like he's making so many weird mistakes now that it scares me. It's like, what the is in there? That's why Alex Jones is like, I'm going to throw up. That's like that clip. Alex Jones is like, I'm going to be physically ill. Like, what's going on? I never bought into it, so I'm not going to have to like off myself like Alex, but it is very, I've never seen Trump behave like this.
All of the things that you mentioned were fake. Yeah. So I would imagine if they were run by Chris Wray and they were run by Comey, and because it was actually even before that administration, right? They've been running these files. And so much of the things that we found were fake with me. But especially, you look at that Steele dossier where they paid like 14 or 16 million. That's more than James Patterson gets paid to do a #1 bestseller.
Isn't that crazy?
And the thing turned out to be.
You're like, who the is James? Is that a worm with a bow and arrow? Thank you so much for the gift. If you're like, James Patterson is that famous author who lives a couple houses down from Trump on Palm Beach, like, he's just rambling and saying things. Just to be clear, hey, nobody. Cool. I agree. There's some things in the Steele dossier that aren't true. I don't think anybody has ever, to my knowledge, who's ever read any of that or read the court files disputes that. I didn't know we were disputing that. The point is like, let me just follow his line of logic. It's all a hoax. Then release it. If it can't be corroborated, if it's like the golden shower thing, then all the more reason to release it. Like, none of this makes any sense. And there's that saying in Macbeth, Shakespeare, thou doth protesteth too much. Like, none of this makes sense. If it's completely a lie, then you have nothing to worry about.
That paper is more sophisticated now than.
And yeah, this is getting weirder and weirder.
A total scam. So frankly, I think I love that they're looking at all this stuff. If they are, I hope they are.
Yeah, we've definitely confirmed it. They definitely are.
Mr. President, this is something that could give the American people answers on 3 different elections, 2016, 2020, and 2024. But to get that rolling, there are 2 sets of documents that are key to identifying possible conspiracy. But a grand jury can't see them unless you declassify them. Would you declassify the classified annex in the Hillary Clinton email case, as Senator Grassley has been asking?
Well, I would do that. Absolutely. I think it should be looked at. The whole thing was a scam.
Yeah.
And I would do that gladly.
Great. And there's one other one I want to mention. In the Durham report, they talk about the Clinton plan intelligence, the intercept where Hillary Clinton approves hanging that Russian shingle on your campaign house. That's another one that hasn't yet been declassified. Was that another one you'd consider declassifying?
I would declassify it. Yeah, why not? I would absolutely declassify it. And I will say this, the Durham report was preceded by the Horowitz report. That's and right. Bill Barr should have used the Horowitz reports. You didn't need the Durham report because
that's right.
Say what you want about Mr. Horowitz, though he was appointed by Democrats, but he wrote the most vicious and true report that you've ever seen on somebody, and that was on James Comey.
Yep.
and I believe, a couple of the people in the FBI that were crooked.
Do you understand how none of this has to do with anything? And that's what's scary. If you get lost in the sauce here, don't. Cool. And do declassify everything. I love to read. I love primary sources. There's nothing better than government files. Love to read them, and don't redact everything because that's the most annoying. But yeah, like I would love declassify it all so we could all look at it and read it. And the Epstein files. What are you talking about? And that's why, understand, now we're talking about Horowitz because what Trump is doing is trying to say that Comey set him up. But you spent 9.5 years saying the opposite, that Comey was covering up Epstein, that Hillary Clinton was covering up Epstein for her husband, that Barack Obama was covering up Epstein. And just this week, you did a complete 180, and none of it doesn't matter what you say. The only answer is, that's cool. We hear you. Release it all and we'll just all read it. Like, none of it makes any sense, nor has to do with you getting elected and promising to release the Epstein files. There are very rich people who traffic children, and we would like to hold them accountable. That's it. And you can say James Comey's name or as many times as you want, but that has nothing to do with cool, release the files. And the more he flails around and says all this weird stuff, the more I know he did something.
But this report was so big, and then go back and check, even the New York Times wrote a violent editorial about Comey based on this report.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Bill Barr didn't use it. I never, it's such a disappointment, but he didn't use it. But that was one of the big things, and it got very little press. I think it was approximately 28 pages of corruption, absolute corruption.
You're right.
And that should have been used. Well, instead, Barr wanted to do a further report. Yeah. So he put Durham in charge, and, Durham took years. I mean, it took so many years. I think it was just a tapping. I think you ought to look at that, too. Why did they tap it along? They tapped.
Well, again, none of that has to do with the Epstein investigation. I like, cool story, Orange Grandpa. Like, none of that has to do with what you ran on and promised everyone. Thank you for the $20 on Venmo, Donna. Beautiful name. I appreciate you so much. I like the way you spell it. Thank you so much. Yeah, like, it's getting worse and worse the more he flails around and does this. Like, oh wait, I forgot about this clip I wanted to show you guys. Have you guys seen this? It's like only 9 seconds, but it's like, oh my God, he's just like, they're just like, hey, like, what about this? And he's like, I don't know anything about it. It's like, oh my God, the more he runs around and just tells people to be quiet, the guiltier this man looks. Like, you're firing people, you're freaking out, you're like, it's all a hoax. And here's the point. If it is a hoax, then you need to explain why you lied for 9.5 years and tried to get elected on it. If it's not, either way, just release the files and then everyone can just comb through them and decide, what is valuable. Period. Like, and I think Jamie Raskin gave the best explanation. Either Trump has a vested personal interest in covering up those files. He's covering up for other powerful people, who are donating, have financial, political, or social ties to him, and he's covering up for them. Or 3, he wants to use that list as leverage or power behind the scenes to leverage other people to consolidate power, or some combination of all 3 of those. That's it. That's how deductive reasoning works. Or you just put it all out there like you promised. Like, now you are covering it up. Like, and I just want everyone, because it's so crazy to me, the 24-hour news cycle, it's almost like we're taking in so much information, we get amnesia. 2 days ago, there was a vote in Congress. Every single Democrat in the House voted to release the files. Every Republican voted to not release them. Why? And I don't think they independently did that. I think there were many Republicans in Congress. Oh my God, I forgot such a big part of this. Okay, this is kind of good news, I guess. Sorry. I forgot about maybe the good news. Where's my Ro Khanna clip? Let me show you. So Ro Khanna is the guy that wrote the amendment in the House that said, it's only 4 pages. If you want to read it, read it. There's no add-ons. It's very simple. It just says, hey, we're going to release the Epstein files and redact the victims' names, the children, who were children when they were assaulted. Like, we're not going to put their names out there. That's all. And originally in the Rules Committee, 5 Republicans voted that down. They had the public vote. All the Republicans voted against it. But Thomas Massie, who I think Elon Musk is now in some ways funding, Thomas Massie, the representative from Kentucky, is joining with Ro Khanna to force a vote on this.
Thomas Massie, but you were just telling me he's gotten more support from Republicans. Where are you right now in terms of the support you need to move this forward?
It's really remarkable. He's been texting me all day. We got Boebert. We got Marjorie Taylor Greene. We have up to 7 Republicans now. When I've worked with Thomas Massie before, it's been on war powers resolution. We're both very passionate that presidents have to come to Congress before taking strikes overseas. We did it to stop the war in Iran. We got exactly 1 Republican, Thomas Massie. And now we have 7. And it shows that this is a real fracture in the Republican base.
And that's enough, isn't it?
That's enough. So the way
computers. Just want to answer someone in the comments. Hold on, I want to read this. Wait, sorry, the comment went fast. I swear. Oh, Chad Johnson said, how come the Democrats didn't release the file when Biden was office? Just understand, Epstein was prosecuted. You understand, everything with Epstein happened under Trump. Do you know that? It happened in Trump's first term. The investigation, all of that happened under Donald Trump in his first term. No, that's not wrong. What Biden did was prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell and put her in jail. The only person who's paying is in jail for 20 years. That was Merrick Garland. But also, and I just want to make sure you understand the difference. And if you don't, I want you to do the research on this. How the government worked before Trump became a dictator was that the Department of Justice, the head of the FBI, the Attorney General were not part of the president's cabinet. If we were following how the founders wanted this government to operate before Trump became a dictator, no U.S. president should direct any investigations, the releasing of information. Everything Trump ran on, said he would, like, that is actually goes against how things operated. There's supposed to be separation. Like, the executive branch is not supposed to direct investigations or indict people because you could, indict your political opponents. Exactly what we're seeing Trump do now. Use it for revenge or retaliation or political, feelings and things like that. It's actually, you're not supposed to. Biden was doing the right thing. But if you don't know this and you don't know your years, everything that happened with Epstein in jail, Epstein's trial, that was all under Trump. His unaliving in jail, whatever happened under Trump. What happened under Merrick Garland and Joe Biden was the prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell. And Ghislaine is in jail. So just to be, you might have your years confused. Don't worry, Bill O'Reilly does too. Bill O'Reilly, it was like, yeah, it was all in 2019 when Trump was president. Merrick Garland prosecuted Ghislaine, and she's in jail for 20 years. So if it's a hoax, Trump should pardon her and let her out of jail. It's not, though. And the other thing that has happened in that there's some access to, if you want to look into this, there was a Florida investigation. Pam Bondi was the attorney general in Florida. There was a Florida investigation in Palm Beach County against Epstein. And when DeSantis was trying to impress MAGA when he was working up to his presidential run, he released some of those files. You can see that. Like, we know it's not a hoax. There's state investigations on this. Yeah. Look, it's not just a federal thing. It's state. Yeah, that's part of the reason MAGA liked Pam Bondi is because of what happened in Florida. So that's why Bondi was like, Bondi knows about this. That's why it's crazy that now she's like, amnesia. This is all, there are state court files, primary documents available that DeSantis made available on this as well. So that's why, none of this makes sense. But the good news is this, this is a New York Times article that came out this morning. So in cooperation, this is Ro Khanna, the guy that tried to force the vote to the floor this week, and all the Republicans voted to not release the files. But Thomas Massey, who's a Republican from Kentucky, is working with Ro Khanna. And like they said, it's like, I think they have 6 or 7. They only need 7. I think they had 6. I think now 7. This is the title of a New York Times article if you want to read more about this. But the way you have to get like 218 signatures, which means it's got to be, there's 211 Democrats. It's called a discharge petition. They're collecting the signatures now. Every Democrat's going to sign it, and they need 7 Republicans, which according to this article, they have. So they collect 218 signatures, and then they can bypass the Rules Committee and Mike Johnson and the people that are trying to kill it, and they force the vote to the floor where they have the votes with 218. But according to, which I don't think I played that, but it's at the very end, I don't think I played it. If you don't know this, that Congress is in recess in August. So we're going to probably have to wait because of how many days you have to wait with the discharge petition. This probably won't happen until September, but at least it's happening and we have a chance. Because if there's one thing I do admire MAGA for, it's at least pushing this. Like, there's no reason to protect rich people who have hurt children. Like, no reason I can
And now
think
we
of.
have 7, and it shows that this is a real fracture in the Republican base.
And that's enough, isn't it?
That's enough. So the way this works is the bill needs to be on the calendar for 7 days. After 7 days, we can get the signatures. Unfortunately, Congress will be in recess in August. But when we come back, we'll have the signatures, and then we get a vote. But what's happening?
There's still hope that we can force it, but God knows. Remember, Anna Paulina Luna did this discharge petition to try to make it so new parents could vote by proxy for 3 months, and they changed the rules on her. So it just, but yeah, and someone said this, the reason I have hope is because Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, is one of the 7. So last time when they quashed a discharge petition, Mike Johnson was like helping them do it. Mike Johnson is one of the people that wants the files released. That's the first time I've ever seen. Yes, allegedly. I mean, that's what they're saying. Yeah, Mike Johnson allegedly wants to. I don't know if he's going to end up, because again, there's got to be, the bill's got to be on record for 7 days. Then they collect the 218 signatures. But allegedly, Mike Johnson at Mar-a-Lago this week, he sounded scared and his voice was shaking, but he was like, yeah, we should release the files. If you have any shred of self-respect, you should release the files. Like, why would you not want to protect people that have been victimized, like children? We're talking about 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 13-year-olds. Who've been great. Like, there's no reason to protect anyone who's been part of this. Yeah, exactly. I can't. Mike Johnson folds like a lawn chair every day, but if he decides this is his line in the sand, then cool. Like, I support you, Mike. Now's the time. If you were going to grow a spine, let's do it for people who were victimized when they were in junior high. Like, there's never a better time to suddenly grow a spine than now. But again, they're on recess in August, and who knows what Trump could do or come up with before then. So we've got to somehow like make it that long and get this to happen. But apparently, Marjorie Taylor Greene is in. I mean, she was always in. Boebert's in. Apparently, there are people. I think Tim Burchett is in. Tim Burchett was on CNN last night. Like, yeah, like I have to. The only person that's going to judge me is like God or something. And he's like, I'm going to have to answer for this. And like, I'm tired of the lies. So. There are a few Republicans, and I just want to say, I think actually a lot of Republicans probably want the files released. They're just scared to stand up and say so. But I don't know. I mean, Unless you are in them and guilty, why would you not want to help children get justice? Like, this is horrible. Anyways, yeah, so, sorry, hold on one second. I just got another freaking violation. Appeal not approved. I didn't even know I had an appeal. Cool. I don't think this is the best topic for TikTok. I don't think TikTok is appreciating us talking about this, apparently. I didn't even know I had a violation that was not approved. Apparently I have another one. Cool. This is already the second live we've restarted, in case you weren't here at the beginning. This is not going well. Talking about this is super bad. I'm trying to think if I have anything else that's like vital that I need to say, because I'm afraid basically this live's about to be demonetized. I'm lost my second appeal today, and I don't want to be banned for a week. So I think I'm right at the stage I get banned, and I don't want to not be able to go live tomorrow. So I'll do more research, look into some more things. I'll be starting as close as possible to 11:30 Pacific time, 2:30 Eastern tomorrow. And I don't want a week banned, because that's the worst of the worst. Then I feel like I've been silenced. So I will see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, with whatever information I find between now and then. Thank you guys so much. Love you.